I'm catching up on my calendar, you guys, very quickly. So I'm getting turnaround time. Might be a little quicker now. It should be quicker now because my calendar is getting cleaned up. All right. So I have an open calendar coming up very soon here as soon as I finish up every little thing. So calendar is going to be very open. Hop on there and book. All right. Let's see what's going on with the connection here. New moon reading. Hi guys, how are you? How's it going? Feel free to chat. All right, how are you? All right, so I'm gonna get going right away. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? New moon reading, connection update. A lot of you are gonna get reconciliation. Hi, Caitlin. How are you guys? A lot of you are gonna get reconciliation with your counterpart, whoever that may be. For some of you, it's somebody from your past that you need to wrap up some cycles with, is what I'm getting. Okay, death card. I'm not surprised this came out. New moon in Scorpio, lunar eclipse. Okay, death card. There was an ego death that hit today. I don't recall the exact peak time of this eclipse, but around 1 p.m. Central Time today, I felt an ego death go across the collective. Okay, there was an ending that took place, a forced ego death, a collective ego death is what I felt. And I got a visualization of a bunch of feminine kind of dropping to their knees and having a realization or some sort of awakening going on. Okay, that's what I saw. So some of you are going through an ego death as we speak. Okay, of having to accept things in the current moment. Some of you are very triggered right now. There's some stuff from the past that's coming up that you have to analyze, okay, feminine? But this is what I'm seeing, and this is probably going on for the masculines as well, okay? I do feel like there's going to be contact coming in from some of you, from the masculines. After this ego death takes place, you guys are going through a massive sacral cleanse. If you'd like a sacral reset, I have a 1 chakra clearing option on my website, okay? Some symptoms of a sacral blockage, you guys, which some of you may be having, is feeling low energy, low libido, feeling no drive, feeling no purpose. It feels like you cannot bring up any creativity or bring up anything. It just feels like blah. Okay, some of you have a major sacral blockage going on. And this is one of the reasons why I offered a 1 chakra clearing. Because some people are like, I can't afford a full clearing right now. That's fine. I understand that. I do payment plans, you guys. And what I have you do is you do the increments that you can afford. And once that is done, then you book the clearing. Okay? But I trust you to do that. So it's kind of a faith thing. And once you're done and you're like, okay, I paid for the full clearing, then you book it. And then I go back and look at the payments that you made. So that is an option. But the 1 chakra clearing, if you want something right now, that is a less expensive option. And I can clear your sacral out really good to help jumpstart your path. Because your sacral is what holds a lot. Okay, your sacral is such a major portal. Okay, it really is, especially for the divine feminine. The sacral is the portal to a lot. Okay, and that sacred space has been infected and it has been blocked. And a lot of those blockages are coming up right now. And some of you are very depressed. You have a lot of anxiety because the sacral energy is going up to the crown or up into the head and causing a lot of anxiety, paranoia, and causing blockages on your crown. There's a crown blockage that's out right now too. So if you feel like your crown is blocked, I mean, I do have that 1 chakra clearing. But getting that sacral cleared out really good will jumpstart that life purpose, okay? Because a lot of that ancient wisdom is in the sacral chakra. That's really what I believe, okay? And that's been blocked in the divine feminine, okay? So if you feel that blockage and you feel like something is wrong, okay, like, you know, hop on my website and book the 1 chakra clearing. And I can clear out that sacral for you, okay? So you can clear that really good. The shoulder, back pain, that can be part of the sacral blockage as well. Very common to get pain down the legs, up the back. It can affect your other chakras. But the main blockage right now is the sacral. If you feel depressed, you know, inability to find purpose, you feel kind of bored, like I said, low libido, stuff like that, sacral blockage. And a lot of this is lineage. This is ancestral blockages coming up right now, okay? And a lot of you, if you just feel stuck and you just cannot get that cleared, just book with me and I'll help you get that cleared out and you can get realigned, okay? But like I said, if you want the full clearing, everything done, I have a full clearing option as well, okay? These clearings that I do, I believe in them, you guys. They are the real deal. I have a lot of reviews to prove that. Your life resets, you go through the healing process and you get down your path, okay? That is what my clearings are all about, is to get you down your path and to let go and, you know, fully embrace that humble life and finding that purpose and going home to your true identity. Somebody asked me, You know, is dreams about your ancestors really common after a clearing? Absolutely. Going home is getting in touch with your ancestors. Okay, getting in touch with your DNA. It goes right down to your DNA. That's what going home is all about, and alignment is all about. So anyway, back to the reading, you guys. A lot of you, you have this sacral clearing going on, and when the sacral fully blocks, you guys, it can put you in a very low place. Okay, but it also is kind of inducing an ego death. I feel an ego death going on right now, and a wake-up call. Some of you are not home. I feel like for the feminine, some of you are not home right now, okay? But I feel like as this ego death happens, and you start to understand some of your cycles and things like that, with the Six of Cups, I feel like that you're going to have a reconciliation with your counterpart. Okay, some of you this may be a father of your child, like with this little boy here. I feel really drawn. There may be a boy or a child or a future child involved in this connection that's manifesting in, okay? But I do see that there may be a child significant here. Okay, there's a rebirth happening to the feminine. A lot of you, it's like you feel like you have to drop to your knees, okay? Like you just feel like that, right? That's kind of what I'm seeing. You know, allow that ego death and just allow yourself to let go and find that humble light. It's bringing you closer to divine union is what I'm seeing, okay? Two of Cups here, like the feminine here is having to learn how to align herself and attract her masculine, not chase. Okay, feminine, why have you been chasing? Why have you been chasing? The feminine wants control. The feminine has been in the not so divine state in a very long time, for many, many generations, for millennia, basically, in my opinion, if you want to say it so. Okay. And you've been in a masculine energy with the Emperor here. I feel like the feminine has been in this masculine energy and getting out of that. And you guys are being more disciplined, though, with your path is what I'm getting as well, with the Emperor energy coming in. But you guys are having an ego death and getting out of this masculine energy. You're not supposed to be the man in the relationship. You're not supposed to chase. You're not supposed to go seek and go find your masculine and all that stuff. You know, you're supposed to attract your divine counterpart. But the feminine is going through immense fear of trusting faith right now. So all this fear is coming up with this new moon. Okay, and I feel like this new moon is bringing up the deepest, darkest fears inside of the feminine. Okay, and that is what is inducing this ego death. Like everything's going to come up and cause you to have to analyze yourself from the inside out, and it's going to force this ego death to take place, and you're going to be forced to trust in faith. Does that make sense? Okay, and this is going to bring you closer to divine union. The feminine has been spending way too much time trying to find her path, find her counterpart, chase her counterpart, force the connection together. This is my counterpart. It has to be my counterpart. That's all there is to it. And trying to make sure the counterpart meets everything that they expect in a relationship, almost trying to program the masculine. And that's not a divine connection. Okay, that's chasing a connection, trying to force the connection. And what happens then? The feminine's been attracting in somebody who's kind of playing them. Okay, so a lot of you are having this ego death, that you've been doing that as well. You've been chasing instead of attracting, and it's kind of drawing in somebody who's just playing the role that you want in a relationship. Okay. So a lot of you may realize that you haven't been in your divine feminine place, okay, and you still had to go back a few steps. I always say, 2 steps ahead, 1 step back. 2 steps ahead, 1 step back when it comes to this. So some of you may have realized, I thought I was done with this part. I thought I had released and let go, but you didn't. Okay, so you kind of had to go backwards. It feels like you're going backwards, feminine, yeah, but you're not. It's just that, if faith wasn't here, there's no faith here. This is the want to control. With the Emperor energy, with the feminine, I feel this want to control the path. Okay, this is how I want my masculine. He has to be this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And when you have this, you're chasing, you're not attracting, and you're trying to program somebody, and you're really opening yourself up to drawing in somebody who plays you. Does this make sense? Okay. And the portal of 1022, you guys, really took some of you with spiritual warfare, feminine. And if you have that, I would suggest a clearing. I did a clearing on somebody yesterday. I had this attack, and it was the whole chakra system. It was crazy. Okay, so some of you have some really heavy energy coming up. Some warfare went on you. And this is how I see it, you guys. Warfare induces healing. Warfare is test. The test that you absolutely need to get into your divine state. Okay, warfare is not meant to be feared, but to be your test to get you into that aligned state. Some of you have that recently, because that's what I'm seeing as well. Okay, but a lot of you, you're spending too much time allowing this connection to bring you heaviness, rather than to bring, I can't talk, somebody's attacking my throat chakra here. I don't consent to that. Okay, thank you. But this is bringing, you're bringing too much heaviness to the connection. It's too much burden, and this is not a divine connection. Love is free flowing, comfortable. The feminine is in a place where she needs to let go and be okay of being alone, without being lonely. Trust that faith will bring her divine counterpart in divine timing. But the feminine is like, wait, it has to be this guy. He has to fit these expectations. He has to be this, this, and this, and this, and it's causing her more heaviness. And if your counterpart is meant for you, I really feel, feminine, that it won't pass you by. Just trust that process. And if he's not meant for you, that fear should not be an issue for you. Okay, that fear should not even be there for you. So if you have that fear, if I let go, if I release all of these burdens, then he won't come to me. Why do you have that fear? Because that's like a trust and faith, feminine. That's like a trust. If you have a checklist of everything that the masculine has to be, is that really trusting faith? Because that's where the feminine's at. No, do I trust faith? I keep hearing that. Do I trust faith? So this new moon energy is going to come, and it's going to give you a really heavy reality check today, feminine. A really heavy reality check. And I feel it's going to be so heavy, like it's going to drop you to your knees and force you into an ego death today, okay? So it's really a test of your will. It really is a test of your will. Yeah, Temperance card, yep. A lot of you are healing with the Empress in reverse. A lot of you are healing that heavy, toxic, distorted feminine, blueprint that's still in you. And like I said, the sacral is the main blockage, you guys, which I'll discuss it again since more of you hopped on. The sacral is the main blockage right now. If you need a sacral clearing, the sacral is the main chakra to the divine feminine. That's the main portal. You can hop on my website. I have one chakra clearing on their option. And I feel like that this is blocked right now for a lot of you because of the distorted feminine energy, and this is generational, and it's ancestral karmic pattern as well. Okay, low energy, depression, feeling lack of identity, feeling lost, feeling like you can't find your place in this world, anxiety, depression. Sometimes that energy can be blocked to the sacral, and it can go up into your head, and it can cause a lot of paranoia, obsessions, want for control, and it can cause destruction. So some of the feminine actually have a blocked sacral right now, and they don't know how to open it. And I can help you open that and bring out your divine state and help you get into that again if you want to hop on my website and book a one chakra clearing. But when your sacral is blocked, because we've been taught to block our sacral, you guys, we've been taught not to be in our divine state. Okay, and the divine feminine sacral is so important for that. That's the portal, okay? That's a portal. It's literally a portal. And when that energy gets stuck in your head, you're sitting there in obsessions and frustrations, okay? And you can start to use that sacral energy for destruction. Okay, this is where the divine feminine has been in a not so divine feminine, because the divine feminine creates. We do not destruct, we create. Okay, yeah? So a lot of you have been destructing and not creating. So right now is a really crucial phase with Empress in reverse is to get that sacral open, okay, and cleared out so that portal can be wide open, which is what I can help you do if you feel stuck. Okay, get that portal open and start creating instead of destructing. Okay, and with the Temperance, I do feel that this is being forced into healing for you. All of those, many generations of stuck energy and blocked sacrals. A common symptom of blocked sacrals, you guys, is the uproar with issues down there for females. All the hysterectomies now everybody's having, a lot of infertility and things like that. There's a lot of symptoms of that. Okay, those are not natural state things. Okay, they're not, and that is generational as well. And it's really, really important, like, who you share your sacral energy with. Like, who are you sharing that with, That is a portal, you guys. It's your portal. And if you, have intimacy with the wrong person, that under the portal, that can really cause that stuck energy as well. So once you heal this energy feminine, I do see you're going to be moving forward. But right now, it feels like you're stuck back. It feels like you went backwards. And it's because you had to go backwards to get out of your ego. Okay? And to stop trying to control everything and stop trying to control the masculines. Because as feminine, we've been trying to control the masculines. We've been trying to chase them. We've been trying to stop their path. And we don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit that. Okay, I know that's a tough one to admit. But we kind of want the masculine to be everything we want them to be and exactly how we want them to be. And we want to lead everything. We want to be the man in the relationship. And this is distortion. Okay, so this is actually stopping the masculine rising. So I feel like the feminine is kind of being forced into this ego death right now. So we kind of humble down and allow the masculine rising. Yeah, you guys are going through karmic endings, okay? You know, the sacral's stuck. The sacral energy is really stuck with the feminine right now due to the toxic feminine, blueprint energy and all that stuff, the ancestral karmic patterns, all that. You know, it's kind of stuck right now with the hangman, though. A lot of this energy is up in your crown and it's up in your head, which I said, you know, can be toxic and cause you to destruct, so be careful of that. But it can also promote an awakening in the crown. So some of you are having downloads and some sort of awakening, okay? I do feel like there's karmic energies that are... Yeah, you can get a clearing with me, you guys, and then the directions, how to do it on there. My clearings are... I am a believer. I've got amazing reviews. Okay, I mean, they are not feel-good clearings, okay? They are like, let's get this work done clearings, reflective clearings, get on path clearings. They're not the feel-good clearings. They're like, I want to get to work and I want to get out of my shit clearings, okay? That's what it is. But the results are phenomenal. They're phenomenal, and it shows you your blocks and it gets you out of your blockages. It's only for people truly ready for that. So they're not for everybody, which is why I do not push them or advertise them heavily, because they're not. And I feel like a lot of people want to look for the feel-good clearings. Well, the feel-good clearings, yeah, that might be a little fix. It's like taking a pain pill for your back pain, okay? You know, that works for a minute, right? But when that pill wears off, whoa, our pain's still there. You know, and the divine feminine has to heal the trauma, and each chakra system holds different trauma, okay? It really does. It holds different versions of trauma. So anyways, the sacral is blocked for a lot of you right now. So that's why I said I started offering those one chakra clearings. Because like I said, the sacral is the main chakra to the rest of your chakras within the divine feminine. It's the portal, right? It's the portal to the other realms, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, the magical world. That's how I see it. Okay, it's a very sacred chakra. Okay, so a lot of you, like, you got energy stuck in your crown though. So the thing is, there's crown blockages too right now going on. So if you have a lot of depression, like paranoia and stuff, you might have a stuck crown. So there's a lot of weird imbalances right now, going on for the divine feminine. But there's also a heart space clearing as well going on. So a lot of you are purging as well. The Scorpio energy is no bullshit. It's no bullshit, right? It's no bullshit, let's be honest. It's some heavy stuff. It brings up all that secret stuff. It brings up all that raunchy, icky stuff that we don't want to deal with. So a lot of you may feel like you're dying, you know, and the feminine, the toxic side of the feminine is that we want to blame everybody else when we're hurting, you know. It's everyone else's fault, you know, everyone's attacking me, you know, and I'm this way because of this, and I'm this way because of that. And the ultimate thing and the bottom line is that we're the way we are because of ourselves, because we allowed it. This is why, you know, I don't recommend targeting people. I don't recommend blaming people, but actually just representing love, okay, and understanding people. That's the way with the divine feminine. A lot of you are going to be forced to clear up some karmic cycles with, you know, parents to children, things like that as well. And this is part of the sacral clearing as well, okay? I mean, there's going to be a lot of karma coming up, feminine, that you've been ignoring. That's like, oh, I'm here. You forgot about me. You ran from me, okay? So there's going to be a lot of that. And I'm also seeing with the Seven of Swords here, deceptive paths or deceptive timelines, feminine, might be coming up to be shown to you as well. Or people that are being deceptive around your energy and trying to keep you stuck. Okay, does that make sense, feminine? That's what I'm seeing. And I do have that new moon reading special, you guys, for those of you who just popped in. It's on my website as well, wickedvirgo.com. Very simple. Okay, I'm offering readings that are typed in email, a little like less expensive option for those of you that are interested. Okay, so feminine, I feel like for a lot of you though, like, you know, a lot of you wanted to fall back into old patterns because it's easy. It's just simple, and it's easier to fall in old patterns instead of reflecting and accepting truth and then find an illusion to pacify it, right? But this only works for so long, and I feel like a lot of you, this is running out, like you can't do it anymore. And a lot of you, like, you're too stubborn, feminine, you're too stubborn, and you want success and victory, okay? Because you're like, I can't lie to myself anymore, like, this is not working. I'm still holding on to some pain, that sort of thing. And a lot of you, like before, were like, I'm fully healed, I don't have any issues. Hi there. I don't have any issues, I don't have any problems, I'm fully healed. And the feminine's kind of been in an ego, and I feel like that if you were that feminine, that this moon is gonna like give you a reality check, like, wait a minute, I'm not fully healed, I'm being egotistic. I have work to do. Okay, so this moon is gonna be the reminding energy that we can't be egotistic, and we're not just perfection. There's no such thing as perfection, and we're never fully healed, right? There's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. My clearings are good, you guys. They're very good. I just did a couple this morning. Phenomenal results. They take a while sometimes to see the results because you have to do the work and you got to clear everything and that sort of thing. I mean, it's a process, you guys. To grow is a process. It's a process. To strip away all of those programs that you've been embodying and all those blockages that have been spell work, blocking many generations of your lineage and things like that. I mean, it's hard work. This is not easy to be that breaker, to be that curse breaker and be that person that goes back home to the natural state and resets everything. I mean, that's a tough place to be. It's not easy. And the divine feminine, I'll give you credit, you guys. I mean, you're going through warfare, constantly warfare. And those of you that actually make it out of it without grabbing onto an illusion every time and wanting an instant fix. Yes, correct, Christine. Everyone wants a quick fix. And, we've done that. We're all guilty, right? Like, oh my God, I have back pain. Take me to the emergency room. I want a pain pill. Oh my God, I feel like shit. Somebody fix me. And in actuality, like, the divine feminine needs to learn how to fix the self. That's what my clearings do. They help align you. My work, people want to talk about false prophets, things like that. I don't even consider myself a prophet. I don't want to put myself on a pedestal. I try to remain very humble. My work helps to reset you and helps align you. And I give you the tools because that's all I can do. I can give you the tools. You do the rest. You do the rest. It helps take you home. That's what my work is, to help take you home, which is back to your organic state. Resetting yourself to your organic state, to your primal state, essentially, and stripping away all of those old belief systems that have been blocking all that spell work, manipulation. This is why my work's targeted a lot, you guys. Okay. I feel like, feminine, you're going through some form of sacrifice right now as well. Okay, with this new moon, you might feel like you're sacrificing, and this might be the case. You might have to sacrifice a little to gain a little. I always recommend doing some sacrificing anyways, and what I mean by sacrificing, that's proving that, that we're willing to remain humble. And sometimes we have to give to receive, yeah? And in sacrificing, like, you can do it in several different ways. I do it through fasting a lot. I'll fast for days at a time, or I'll fast for a full day. I'm a diabetic, so sometimes I can't fast for days at a time. But also giving money to random people or giving items to random people without an expectation in return. The toxic feminine expects a return every time they give. A divine feminine gives without expectations, knowing that it comes back, knowing it doesn't matter, and understands that you have to give sometimes and sacrifice. That's a divine feminine. So a lot of you are learning that as well. So doing some sacrifices is probably essential right now as well to get on your divine path. Okay, so you may be pushed to do some, volunteering to help somebody. But I recommend knowing where your energy is going. Okay, helping somebody in person that you personally know, going and donating to a random charity. I don't trust that. But you get what I'm saying. So you guys may be pushed to doing some sacrifices. Okay, this upcoming reason. We have lessons to learn around giving, you guys. The feminine has a lot of toxicity around giving. We tend to give thinking we can force and even exchange. And when we have that attitude, we end up alone and having nobody in our life. Okay, so there's a lot of that going on as well. Because a lot of women are like, I gave to this person and that person and they owe me, kind of thing, which is some of the shadow feminine being cleared as well, along with the other toxic cycles that have remained stuck in that sacral. Okay, so a lot of you right now, like, you feel kind of bored. I'm kind of seeing that as well. You might be feeling bored with your path. This is part of the sacral clearing and reset as well. Okay, this new moon will get you out of that boredom is what I'm picking up as well. Okay, be ready, feminine, because I do feel like some of your path is going to randomly open up and you're going to be unprepared. Okay, and you're going to have to charge forward. You're going to get a call of duty. You're going to have to charge forward is what I'm seeing for some of you. Like, oh, here you go. This is what you need to get on board with, okay? All right, so let's see what is up. Yeah, fasting actually helps repel warfare. If you feel some heavy warfare, fasting does help. Okay, and I can feel in this live someone is trying to attack my throat. It's kind of crazy, I can feel it. What's going on for the masculine right now? Thank you for the donation, Christina. I appreciate it. I tell truth to what I see to be true, you guys. I don't want to leave you hanging. You know, I want to see you guys rise. That is my ultimate goal, is to see you guys rise, okay? It really is. I feel like the masculines right now are working on belief systems, old patterns and belief systems. But I'm also hearing with this, you guys, is getting into a place of having morals is what I'm hearing, okay? I feel like the masculines have been lacking morals. Some of them have been kind of icky with their behavior patterns. That's what I'm hearing, just lacking morals, authentic morals, okay? And I feel like they're quite guarded right now. They're in the sacral clearing as well, is what I'm hearing, okay? A lot of lustful behavior, things like that, addiction, addictive behavioral patterns. Masculines tend to look for highs. The feminine wants to look for instant fixes. They want to feel good quick. The masculine looks for highs. Okay, so that's why a lot of time they'll get into addiction, substance abuse, you know, sexual addiction, things like that to get a rush. You know, they'll do risk taking, and this isn't always bad. It isn't always bad. Some of it, you know, like going and having fun, but they want to look for a quick high. And so they engage in toxic behavior. So I feel like the masculine's being encouraged to kind of simmer down here and reflect on their belief systems and what they're actually doing with their energy and time. Are they utilizing in a good way? Okay, and some of them are faking their life. You know, they'll just mimic. Some of them are like, how do I explain some of the masters? Like shapeshifters, okay? When they're around the feminine in the moment, you know, it's something the Playboy bunny kind of does. Like they just mimic the behavior to you. You know, they just like, they kind of fill you out. And they'll be like, yeah, me too, yeah. And all of a sudden you guys are a perfect pair. You have the exact same morals, the exact same interests. And the masculine's just kind of telling you what you want to hear. So I feel like if that's the case with some of you, that this is going to show as well. If the masculine's just telling you what you want to hear. Okay, so the masculines lack, you know, morals. Some of them lack morals. This is coming up as well, you know, and lack identity as well. Yeah, a lot of illusion here, okay? They're stuck in illusion with this. They're having to be kind of kicked in the butt with this. Like there's a tower to the bulls coming in, okay? And with the judgment card, I feel like God is like, okay, it is time to listen. It is time to get in tune with what you're doing. Quit being destructive. Quit self-destructing. Quit destructing other people in the process. Because the masculine's been kind of projecting out and destructing everyone around him as well. Like they want to get these highs and they don't care at what expense. So some of them, maybe they just played you and you feel played and they feel like they were just using you to get a rush or a high or an energy fix. Does that make sense? And you were giving that to them. And then they'd go back to their life that they're in and act like nothing happened. And you're like, what are you doing? Okay, and it just like hurts you. And I feel like these kind of things are all coming up to be addressed right now. And the masculine has to kind of reflect on what he's been doing. Okay, and hurting other people to get these rushes. So there's a need for morals. There's a need for him to realign himself. There's a need for him to find himself out of boredom, to fix his problems, not go out and get a rush or a quick euphoria, you know, to make his problems go away. Okay, so I feel like he's working on, you know, clearing the foggy energy around him, clearing the distortions. Okay, and he's got that stuck energy as well. That sacral energy is stuck in the masculine, and also their crown is very stuck right now. And I feel like their heart is trying to open, and as this heart is trying to open, like they're trying to guard it, and some of them are running and hiding from this. Okay, but it, you know, with these shifts going on, it doesn't matter, you guys. We can try to run and hide as much as we want. These shifts are still going to follow you. They're astrology written, you know. They're out in the air, so it's not going to matter. When I just get choked. Yeah, there's a lot of attacks in my throat in here when I do lives. That's why I quit doing them for over a year. So, you know, we got the Playboy Bunny, we got the Page of Wands, and some of them may come in towards you with a sexual offer, sexual innuendo, you know, and this is them trying to get that high but feminine with your sacral kind of clearing right now, or if you have sacral issues, you're going to be kind of turned off by this. Okay, you're gonna be like, that's cool, I don't want anything to do with you, I don't want you near my sacred portal. Okay, because when the masculine's a player and he's kind of engaging in these icky things, addictions and things like that, he's like, you know, he's spreading his sacral energy all over the place. Because the masculines have an overactive sacral energy, usually a flaming sacral. I don't know how many men I've seen, you guys, because I can see everything in another dimension. They have these flaming lava sacrals, okay? And they have so much excessive energy down there that they don't know what to do with it. So a lot of times they'll engage in this, like, this toxic behavior. The feminine has an underactive one, usually. So a lot of you guys will, like, you know, want to feel good, and you'll feel depressed, and you'll want to get a high. Like, I want to feel good, I want something to make me feel better, okay? Does that make sense? And the masculine will have this excessive energy he needs to get rid of, which is why they engage in this thing. In these things, and they'll go out and they'll just want to give this energy up. Like they'd be more than happy to give it up, you know what I'm saying? And in a lot of ways they'll just throw it away and do risky things and stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. Yes, fasting will make you feel sick, but that is your body purging. A lot of times you'll even get diarrhea, you guys, as you expel like icky stuff from your intestinal wall. Trauma is actually held. A lot of times after my clearings, people get diarrhea. Trauma is actually held in your intestines, okay? And when you get clearings, a lot of the times those intestines will start expelling the trauma. It's actually like really heavily in the walls of your small intestines. Like they'll be impacted shit, okay? And a lot of people are like, is it normal to have diarrhea? Yes. Sometimes people will vomit. Not very common. But the diarrhea and stuff, it actually will get that out, and fasting will do the same thing. All of a sudden you'll have these disgusting shits, okay? It's very common. It's trauma and impacted bacteria and things like that, and they're coming out. And if you have constipation, you guys, issues, that's because you're holding on to trauma and you're holding on to things from your past, okay? You're like holding on, and it's leaving energy stuck. Yes, it's pretty bad. Okay. So the masculine guys, okay, they got some fiery sacral energy here, and I feel like the feminine probably isn't going to be feeling that. A lot of it's because they're bored. All right, they're bored. They have an overactive sacral. They want to get rid of this energy. The feminine is the receiver, you guys. That's why I honestly, this is my personal opinion, I don't feel like that not having sex for years on end is healthy. The feminine and masculine actually do a very big exchange with sexuality when you're in a union. Okay, the masculine gives and the feminine receives, and the feminine holds that portal. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so when couples don't have sex and things like that, that is really detrimental to a balanced relationship. Very detrimental, okay? But when these masculines are out just sharing their sacral with everything in sight, I mean, they're bringing that to you. That can be detrimental as well. So be careful, because these masculines, they're kind of out. They're wanting to dump some of the sacral energy is what I'm getting. Okay? So just be careful with that. Be careful who you share your sacral energy with. I feel like the masculines here, they're kind of in this place, you guys, where it's like they're really tempted by doing toxic things. They want to be happy and free, but they're very tempted by toxicity right now. And I've done clearings on masculines, you guys, and it's turned out to be better, but they have a really tough time with it. They'll engage in their addictions more sometimes at first before they start to reflect. You know, it's really tough for them, but they do actually align after that, and they do a lot better after that. So anyways, I feel like that they're tempted back to their old ways. I'm really getting that strongly here when that sacral energy is overactive and like lava in them. They're really tempted to go give it to whatever, to go throw it away to whatever, when they really need to be using that sacral energy to create, okay, instead of destruct. The sacral energy should be to create rather than destruct. But we kind of been getting destructive with sacral energy. I also feel like the masculines here are going through a really lonely period. I feel like a lot of people, for some of them, if they're in a toxic place, I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't even want your sacral energy, and they can't even find a place to dump it off. Okay, does that make sense? Because that's what I'm seeing as well, is some of that going on. Some of these masculines have kind of caused such mistrust with people around them that they're like, I don't, a lot of people are like, I don't want your sacral energy, just get away from me. Nobody's wanting anything to do with the masculine right now. So that's what I'm getting for some of them. They're being ignored. So they don't even have a place to dump off the sacral energy. Like, they have this sacral energy like free right here, like you want to take it, and a lot of people are like, no. So they have a lot of anxiety right now because of that. They're used to dumping that sacral energy, whether it's risk taking or doing crazy stuff, or playing women and going out and messing around with women and dumping it that way. The masculines too are known to have a very overactive sacral, and they have to like empty that out. Sometimes they get into addictions. They have to do it several times a day, somehow get rid of that sacral energy, whether it's through good things or not. And they should be creating, getting into artistic things, stuff like that. Underactive sacral, then they're probably in more of a feminine state. Okay, so let's see. Soul energy, soul journey. So a lot of you are healing things, healing money issues, okay? And with money issues, you guys, there's a lot of greed in the collective right now. Greed is also held in the sacral, okay? There's a lot of greed, and people that are in a lot of greed right now, and me, and there's a lot of narcissism showing up, covert narcissism, and feminine as well. Okay, a lot of feminine didn't think they had this trait, but it's coming up to be analyzed that yes, the feminine has covert narcissism traits, okay? So if a lot of you are like, I feel like I have some of those traits, yes, we're all prone to these traits, okay? Selfishness, greed, some jealousy coming up, things like that, okay? And healing these things are really important to move forward, okay? So there is some of that, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be forced to drop to their knees and become humble. The more we beg, the more we expect, the more we try to control our path, the more we try to be greedy and jealous and things like that. There's going to be this force coming at us, forcing us to drop to our knees and humble down and reflect. Okay, so that's kind of going on, and a lot of it's around money, obsession around money. With the shifts going on right now, you guys, we're being forced to humble down when it comes to money. Hi, Angela. We're being forced to humble down when it comes to money and materialism, that is not happiness. Okay, so that's part of the reset as well. And I feel like that's being shown. If you can't embody the energy of being humble, the life of being humble, that how are you going to be trust to move forward when you're secretly greedy, selfish, and some people kind of hide behind the bleeding empath, and they actually have a hidden agenda of expectations, and they're very controlling. You guys, that's my opinion based. Some of the bleeding empaths can be very controlling of other people, and they do have expectations. So this type of blueprint's going to come up to be analyzed if you're like that a little bit. So it's really important to just admit within yourself, okay, I care about other people, I love people, but at the end of the day, I'm giving because I have expectations, and that's not a healthy energy either. Okay, so there's a lot of these, just a lot of random things coming up. It's a lot at once, I get it. But the greed and the money worries and the anxiety about money and all of these things around materialism are definitely coming up. It's a really important part of the soul journey. We're going to be forced to humble down and see how little we can survive on and still find happiness. Okay, very important lesson. And if you have not passed that lesson yet, this lesson will come upon you. Okay, some of you have already passed this lesson, but if you have not, the lesson will come upon you. How little you can live without relying on other people to pick it up for you. And the feminine has a test here too, where she's not going to be saved. You're not going to be saved, and holding your own weight is going to be very important, okay? So if you self-sabotage, feminine, and you let your path go and let it be wiped out from underneath you, you're going to feel some consequence of that as well. And understand that, you're not being saved. So this soul journey and this reset, this revamp that you're going through is going to go until spring equinox. Okay, now until spring equinox. Fall equinox into spring equinox. Very significant this year for this full reset. It's going to reveal so much. It's going to reveal so much. Some of you, the masculines, are checking your social media, watching, observing you, seeing how your rising goes. That's what I'm seeing. I feel like some of them are pansies when it comes to fully rising, and they know they need to respect you more and not come in with just an overactive sacral energy. Okay, trying to come in with the vitamin D and think they can dump it in you and run off. Like that game is not going to work anymore, because I feel like it's not even going to be exciting for a little bit for the feminine. Because I feel like in the past, you know, it made her feel good in the moment when he gave his sacral energy like that. It made her feel validated. It made her feel loved, that sort of thing. But that was like mistaking love for that. And if he was not staying after to fulfill everything else, but just doing that and running off, it was leaving the feminine in this very lost state. And she's gotten out of that. A lot of you have gotten out of that. And you're rising up above that. So that is not going to work anymore. Just wait. Don't give up on me. So you guys sign up for my ritual as well. Get on my website. Book the new moon reading with me and a clearing on my website if you would like that, whether a full clearing or a one chakra clearing. You get that sacral opened up so you can get that individuality out. I've thought about having a family with you. Don't think because we don't talk that I don't want to, because I do. So there you go, you guys, and the sexual thoughts that run across my mind. There you go. All right, I hope that helps you guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.